Hello and welcome back to my vlog. We're now on to part 4 of the practice of autosuggestion by the method of Emile Coue. And it's section 3, the practice of autosuggestion, chapter 6, part 1, general rules. With our knowledge of the powerful effect which an idea produces, we shall see the importance of exercising a more careful censorship over the thoughts which enter our minds. Thought is the legislative power in our lives, just as the will is the executive. We should not think it wise to permit the inmates of prisons and asylums to occupy the legislative posts in the state. Yet, when we harbor ideas of passion and disease, we allow the criminals and lunatics of thought to usurp the governing power in the commonwealth of our being. In future, then, we shall seek ideas of health, success, and goodness. We shall treat warily all depressing subjects of conversation, the daily list of crimes and disasters which fill the newspapers, and those novels, plays, and films which harrow our feelings, without transmuting by the magic of art the sadness into beauty. This does not mean that we should be always self-consciously studying ourselves, ready to nip the pernicious idea in the bud, nor yet that we should adopt the ostrich's policy of sticking our heads in the sand and declaring that disease and evil have no real existence. The one leads to egotism and the other to callousness. Duty sometimes requires us to give our attention to things in themselves evil and depressing. The demands of friendship and human sympathy are imperious, and we cannot ignore them without moral loss. But there is a positive and a negative way of approaching such subjects. Sympathy is too often regarded as a passive process by which we allow ourselves to be infected by the gloom, the weakness, the mental ill health of other people. This is sympathy perverted. If a friend is suffering from smallpox or scarlet fever, you do not seek to prove your sympathy by infecting yourself with his disease. You would recognize this to be a crime against the community. Yet many people submit themselves to infection by unhealthy ideas as if it were an act of charity, part of their duty towards their neighbors. In the same way, people deliver their minds to harrowing stories of famine and pestilence, as if the mental depression thus produced were of some value to the faraway victims. This is obviously false. The only result is to cause gloom and ill health in the reader, and so make him a burden to his family. That such disasters should be known is beyond question, but we should react to them in the manner indicated in the last chapter. We should replace the blank recognition of the evil by the quest of the means best suited to overcome it. Then we can look forward to an inspiring end and place the powers of our will in the service of its attainment. O human soul, as long as thou canst so, set up a mark of everlasting light, above the heaving senses ebb and flow. Not with lost toil thou laborest through the night. Thou makest the heaven, thou hopest indeed thy home. Autosuggestion, far from producing callousness, dictates the method and supplies the means by which the truest sympathy can be practiced. In every case, our aim must be to remove the suffering as soon as possible. And this is facilitated by refusing acceptation to the bad ideas and maintaining our own mental and moral balance. Whenever gloomy thoughts come to us, whether from without or within, we should quietly transfer our attention to something brighter. Even if we are afflicted by some actual malady, we should keep our thought from resting on it as far as we have the power to do so. An organic disease may be increased 100-fold by allowing the mind to brood on it. For in so doing, we place at its disposal all the resources of our organism and direct our life force to our own destruction. On the other hand, by denying it our attention and opposing it with curative autosuggestions, we reduce its power to the minimum and should succeed in overcoming it entirely. Even in the most serious organic diseases, the element contributed by wrong thought is infinitely greater than that which is purely physical. There are times when temperamental failings or the gravity of our affliction places our imagination beyond our ordinary control. The suggestion operates in spite of us. We do not seem to possess the power to rid our minds of the adverse thought. Under these conditions, we should never struggle to throw off the obsessing idea by force. Our exertions only bring into play the law of reversed effort, and we flounder deeper into the slough. Coue's technique, however, which will be outlined in succeeding chapters, will give us the means of mastering ourselves even under the most trying conditions. Of all the destructive suggestions we must learn to shun, none is more dangerous than fear. In fearing something, the mind is not only dwelling on a negative idea, but it is establishing the closest personal connection between the idea and ourselves. Moreover, the idea is surrounded by an aura of emotion which considerably intensifies its effect. Fear combines every element necessary to give to an autosuggestion its maximum power. But happily, fear, too, is susceptible to the controlling power of autosuggestion. It is one of the first things which a person, cognizant of the means to be applied, should seek to eradicate from his mind. And there we'll stop for today. More tomorrow. Make it a great day, and bye for now.